Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for the Weekend Ads episode for Week 12. As you can see, guys, I'm feeling a whole lot better. Back in my studio, was able to have Christmas with my family. Thank goodness, was feeling just good enough by Christmas Eve. So really happy that I got over whatever I had pretty quickly. And I'm once again back and ready to record content for you guys for the rest of the season. Now, guys, check out this Florida Panthers reverse retro jersey behind me. So freaking cool. One of my favorite from the last reverse retro series. Just got that as a Christmas gift, so that's pretty freaking cool. And I do want to say sorry for not putting out a drops episode this week. I was sick, so it just didn't seem to make a lot of sense. And it was Christmas, so I figured taking a little break wouldn't be the end of the world. There'll be drops episodes, though, for every week for the rest of the year. Before I jump into the content now, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's jump right into the content today and let's take a look at the schedule for Week 12. And as you can see, guys, on Friday there are 9 games, Saturday and Sunday, also 9 games this week. So basically for this weekend, you're going to have to go and check your schedule because not everybody's schedule is going to be the same. You might have an insanely busy day on Friday, like almost all your players are playing, but then have room in your lineup on Saturday and Sunday. Or you could have the same thing with almost all your players playing on Sunday and then have plenty of room on Friday and Saturday. That's actually my case. I have a lot of players playing on Sunday in a couple of my leagues, but I have room on Friday and Saturday. But it really depends on who you have in your lineup. So go ahead and check which days you can actually fit players in your lineup, and that'll impact who you end up streaming. As usual, guys, I'm going to go over players that play Friday, Saturday, players that play Friday and Sunday, and players that play Saturday and Sunday. So let's jump into it and let's take a look at some players that play Friday and Saturday. And the teams that play Friday and Saturday are the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, New Jersey Devils, New York Rangers, St. Louis Blues, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Washington Capitals. The number one guy that I would stream is Pavel Buchnevich, as well as his line mate Robert Thomas. Both of them have been playing very, very well on the top line in St. Louis. Top power play as well. Been very, very good all year. They're both scoring plenty of points. The fact that they're below 70% roster is actually kind of crazy. Both of them are phenomenal streamers. Then Tom Wilson, top line, top power play with an insanely safe floor with the shots and the hits that he gives. Especially if you're in a league that counts hits as points or a categories leagues where you need hits. Tom Wilson is an excellent, excellent streamer. Ryan O'Reilly, top line, top power play with Forsberg. Been pretty good all year. He's a little streaky, but if you catch him when he's hot, he's going to really perform for you. Kirill Marchenko is playing second line right now on a very hot second line, so like him a lot right now. Colton Sisson is playing top power play in Nashville and is putting up plenty of peripherals to get himself a very safe floor night in and out, so I like him a lot right now, and he's only 8% rostered. Evan Rodriguez of the Florida Panthers playing top line and is putting up points. A little streaky as well, but if you catch him on a good night, you're going to get rewarded. Dylan Strome, top line, top power play in Washington. It is pretty hot right now. Sam Bennett is on the second line with Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe. Obviously hasn't been as great as I would have liked him to be so far this year, but he definitely always has the chance to shine. Yegor Chinakhov is playing on that second line with Marchenko, like I was telling you before. Adam Fantilli is playing really, really well right now, so he's getting some really good opportunity right now too with all the injuries in Columbus, so like to see that. Braden Shen is kind of cold right now, but definitely always has the opportunity to put up points there. Anthony Manth is having kind of a bounce back year here, getting some power play time, putting up points. Look at his game log. He's actually doing pretty good. He's available in 99% of league if you need a streamer here. Eric Holla is someone who's been a little bit cold as well, but definitely don't mind streaming him if he's available. And then Cole Smith finally is a guy who gives you a bit of a safe floor with the hits and the shots. If you need somebody to stream for Friday and Sunday, meaning that you're pretty busy on Saturday, the teams you're going to want to stream from are Anaheim, Chicago, Colorado, Dallas, Detroit, New York Islanders, Ottawa, and Philadelphia. Number one guy that I would go after is Josh Norris, who's insanely hot right now. Top line, top power play, looking pretty good right now. Matt Duchene still playing second line with Marchman and Sege and been pretty great all year. Nothing to complain about there. Definitely a pretty safe streamer. Owen Tippett at 55% roster now is someone who shoots the puck a lot. So he gives himself a pretty safe floor there, and he's been producing lately as well. Mason McTavish is someone who's had a nice breakout season this year. Been kind of cold as of late, but definitely still someone to look out for here. Sean Couturier, the next guy would go for top line, top power play, and Philadelphia is having a nice bounce back year after not playing at all last season. Definitely nice to see that. Lucas Raymond has kind of a weird deployment right now, playing with Comfer and Fabry on the second line, as well as only the second power play. He's having a decent enough season though, so he's not a terrible streamer, although he's not my favorite streamer either with that deployment, and I could even have put him a little bit lower on this list. Anders Lee's top line with Horvat and Barzal having a pretty okay season. He's not getting top power play time right now, so I'm not overly high on him, but he's kind of hot right now, so I don't mind the streamer there. Tyler Seguin and Mason Marchment are my next two best streamers. They're playing on that second line, like I already mentioned, with Matt Duchene, so that's a decent deployment for them. Vladimir Tarasenko is actually playing on the left wing right now with Tim Stützle and Jake Batherson. That's a decent place for him to be. Hopefully he's able to bounce back from the kind of not so great season he's had so far, but hopefully the new year will be kind to Vladimir Tarasenko, and I think it will be. Then Joel Farabee's playing on a line with Paling and Bobby Brink, which is kind of a bizarre deployment for him, but he's been pretty solid all year, getting points at least every second game, so definitely not a terrible streamer if you're looking to stream somebody from Philly. Then Matthew Joseph is actually injured right now, but I imagine he's going to be healthy this weekend, so if he is healthy, he's been someone who's been pretty solid all year round. He's honestly a pretty safe guy to pick up. The fact that he's only 6% roster is actually kind of surprising. Kyle Palmieri is playing on the second line with Brock Nelson and Pierre Engvall. That's pretty good deployment for him, and he's been pretty solid all year, honestly. And finally, Adam Henrique is a third line center in Anaheim right now with Trevor Zegras back, but this dude's always being moved up and down the lineup, so even with being the third line center, I think he's still going to do just fine. He's super underrated too. So if you look at your lineup and you see that your busiest day is on Friday, you're going to want to stream someone that plays Saturday and Sunday. The teams that play Saturday and Sunday are Boston, Buffalo, Edmonton, Minnesota, Montreal, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and Winnipeg. The number one guy that I would stream is Nick Suzuki of the Montreal Canadiens, playing top line and top power play. Has been very good all season long, just as good as Cole Caulfield, basically. And he's a lot more owned than Suzuki. I understand Suzuki's a natural center, but if he's able to fit in your lineup, he is the guy who I would go for over anybody else. And Nino Niederreiter has been super inconsistent, but if you're willing to take a gamble, if you're down by quite a bit, Nino Niederreiter could score a couple goals in a couple games and definitely help you turn your week around. JJ Peterka, someone who's been very good this year, scoring plenty of goals, plenty of points, getting top 6 deployment. I like that streamer as well. Then I have Charlie Coyle and Pavel Zacha. Coyle's playing with DeBrusk and Marchand. Zacha's playing with Heinen and Pasternak. Both have been pretty decent all year long. Neither is someone who I absolutely love this season, but both are solid streamers for this weekend. Casey Middlestat is currently playing on the third line in Buffalo, which is not ideal. He's playing with Greenway and Benson. He's been pretty solid all year though, so he's the next best guy that I would grab. Cole Perfetti playing for the red-hot Winnipeg Jets on the second line right now in Nemesnikov and Iafallo. That line hasn't been particularly amazing, but Perfetti has been good enough that I think he's a pretty decent streamer this weekend. Nick Paul, the Tampa Bay Lightning, is someone that I really like right now, playing on the top line with Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov, as well as the top power play with those guys. And prior to the Christmas break, he was very, very hot. So definitely someone who has the upside to put up plenty of points. Marco Rossi of the Minnesota Wild, playing between Marcus Johansson and Ryan Hartman right now, which is a decent deployment for him. And he's also playing on the top power play in Minnesota, so he's putting up some points fairly frequently. I think that he's actually a pretty decent streamer, especially if you're in a deeper league. Then we have JVR, who's been pretty decent all year, though he's only playing on the third line right now, so I'm not overly high on that, but he's doing decently on that third line with Geeky right now and Trent Frederick, so he's not my favorite streamer, but if he's available and you need somebody really badly, he is an option. Adam Lowry, playing on the third line with Nino Niederreiter and Mason Appleton and Winnipeg, and has been decent enough all year. Also gets short-handed time, so definitely always possibility for short-handed points. Then we got two Marcuses, Marcus Foligno and Marcus Johansson in Minnesota. Johansson's playing with Rossi and Hartman, decent deployment on that second line, and then Foligno's playing third line with Gaudreau and Maroon. Less good deployment, but he still gives himself a pretty safe floor with those hits and those shots on goal. And finally, if you're in an absurdly deep league, someone like a Sam Gagner or a Ryan McLeod or whoever really is playing in the top 6 in Edmonton could be a decent streamer if you're in a super deep league, like I just mentioned. Warren Foegele is another guy who, as of right now, is in the top 6 in Edmonton. Could be someone that you take a look at. If you want a defenseman that plays 2 games this weekend, then one guy I would look at is Travis Sanheim. Travis Sanheim's been pretty solid all year, playing PP2 for Philly, and is putting up plenty of even strength points as well. Jake Sanderson is getting top power play in Ottawa, playing pretty well right now. Ekholm is doing very, very well for the Oilers right now. I have nothing bad to say about Ekholm. He's getting points every couple of nights, putting up plenty of great peripherals. Brock Faber is getting top power play time in Minnesota, although if Spurgeon comes back, it's likely that Spurgeon will be the one getting top power play time. So monitor that, and if Spurgeon is back, he's the guy who I would scoop up here. Radko Gudas, always a safe floor with those hits, those blocks, a few shots on goal as well. David Savard of the Montreal Canadiens has been phenomenal since returning from injury, getting plenty of blocks, and even putting up some points pretty frequently. I'm not expecting the points to continue too long, but if he's hot right now, might as well ride that streak. Keandre Miller has been kind of a huge disappointment this year so far, but the peripherals are still going to be okay. You know what you're getting with him, right? You have the shot of getting a few points. You also have the shot of it being a complete bust. So he's kind of a boomer bust guy. If you're in need for a lot of points, he's someone that you might want to go for. Thomas Harley's been pretty solid, low-key all year, putting up points. The peripherals are not much, so he's got to put up a point so as not to bust for you, but he's doing that pretty frequently. Jake Wallman's been a guy who's been really solid this year for Detroit, getting lots of block shots, giving himself a safe floor with different peripherals, and then putting up points more frequently than you would think. And then finally, Colton Parayko, same kind of thing, putting up peripherals, putting up points sometimes as well. Definitely not a terrible streamer. As for goalies, guys, this is a lot of effort, so I decided not to do a goalie slide this week. It's the holidays, guys, and honestly, all the days are really busy, so Sunday goalies might not even help you because you might be full on Sunday. It's not like Sunday is a non-busy night anyway, so go ahead and check which night you actually have room for goalies. Then go to Daily Faceoff, see who's starting, and see if maybe they played the night before or whatever, and if a starting goalie played the night before, obviously the backup's going to be starting, and then you can stream based on that, or you can just wait for a confirmation. Jumping into the categories league section of this video now, and if you need to catch up on shots on goal, or you want to make sure you maintain that lead in shots on goal, the number one guy to stream is Owen Tippett of the Philadelphia Flyers. He shoots 3.5 times per game, which is a lot. You stream him for both games he plays this weekend, you get 7 shots probably, which is pretty great. Tom Wilson shoots 3 times per game, Atkinson 2.9, Peterka, Couturier, Norris, Mike Riley, and Ricard Raquel all shoot 2.7 times per game, and Warren Foegele, who shoots 2.4 times per game if you're in need of a deep league guy. For blocks, if you need blocks, David Savard hasn't played as many games as the guys on this list, but he's been blocking 2.8 times per game. Might as well ride him as long as he's blocking a lot. Jake Wallman, 2.7. Caden Gooley, 2.7. Connor Murphy, 2.7. Timothy Liljegren, 2.6. Eric Gunbradson, 2.5. And Ilya Lyubushkin on the Ducks, 2.5. If you need hits, number one guy is Jeremy Lauzon, who averaged this year, he's hitting 3.5 times per game, but he's hitting a lot more than that lately. So definitely someone I love for hits this week. Over 2 games, he'll get you somewhere between 7 and 10 hits in all likelihood. Michael Pezzetta is 0% rostered, 3.5 hits per game. Jeannot, 3.4. Tenorti, 3.1. Blais and Sherwood, 2.9. Wilson, 2.9. Dillon, 2.7. And Gudas, 2.6. And finally, if you need face-off wins, the number one guy is Robert Thomas, 10.6 face-off wins per game. O'Reilly, 10.2. Coyle, 9.6. McLeod, 9.0 and only 2% rostered. Pajot, 8.6. Lowry, 8.4. Dylan Strome, 8.1. And Sean Monahan, 8.1 as well. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my content today. I'm glad to be feeling a lot better. So I'm glad I was able to get this video out for you guys. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas. And I want to wish you guys all a happy and healthy New Year and a fun New Year's Eve celebration, guys. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped. Good luck with your matchups.